For billions of years, life on Earth has had just one author: evolution. But today, for the very first time, a new author has grabbed the pen: us. We are right on the edge of not just understanding life, but engineering it.
You see, we've spent decades getting really good at reading the code of life, that DNA that makes up every living thing. But that leads to this huge question, and it's really what this whole explainer is about today. What happens when we go from being readers of the genetic code to being its writers?
Okay, so let's get right into it. To really wrap your head around this new power, you have to stop thinking of biology as this fixed, set-in-stone system. Instead, think of it like living software, a biological operating system that we are finally learning how to hack and even engineer from the ground up.
And the name for this field is synthetic biology. To put it simply, it's all about designing and building totally new biological parts, or taking what nature has already made and redesigning it for our own purposes. And listen, this isn't science fiction. This is happening right now, using these incredible tools like CRISPR and Gibson assembly, which let scientists literally cut, paste, and stitch together DNA with mind-blowing precision.
And when you put the two side by side, the difference is just staggering. Natural evolution, it's slow. It works over millions of years through random chance. Synthetic biology, though, is fast, it's precise, and it's driven by intentional design. It's kind of like the difference between waiting for lightning to strike and just building a power plant. And here's the real kicker: we're not just limited to DNA anymore.
So all this sounds amazing in theory, right? But when did it actually happen? Let's talk about the exact moment that synthetic biology went from an idea in a lab to a real, living, tangible organism. Now, this didn't just pop up out of nowhere. The groundwork for this was being laid way back in the 1960s. By 2003, Craig Venter's team hit a huge milestone when they built a virus genome completely from scratch. But then, in 2010, they did it. They reached the Holy Grail.
Get this. They designed a bacterium's entire genome on a computer, synthesized that genetic code in the lab, and then booted it up inside an empty cell. The results was a living, breathing, self-replicating organism whose only parent was a digital file. That was the moment life officially became programmable. And you don't have to take my word for how huge this was. The scientist who did it, Craig Venter, called it a giant step. The moment our species officially went from being just passive readers of life's code to becoming its active authors.
But believe it or not, rewriting the DNA that already exists is really just the starting line. The next frontier is creating life that runs on a completely different operating system, one that nature has never even seen before. So, say hello to XNA, or xenonucleic acid. The easiest way to think about it is like a new programming language for biology. It can store genetic information just like DNA, but it's built from totally different molecular blocks. Because of that, it's basically invisible to the natural world. Viruses can't hack it, enzymes can't break it down. We're talking about the foundation for creating truly alien biochemistries, right here on Earth. And the possibilities this opens up are just, well, they're staggering. We could create organisms that are completely immune to every known virus. We could build microbes with brand new abilities, or even put evolution on fast forward in the lab to create novel enzymes for medicine. This technology fundamentally blurs the very definition of what life even is.
Of course, with this kind of godlike power comes an immense amount of responsibility. For every incredible, world-changing promise, there is an equally massive peril. This is the definition of a dual-use technology, with the power to do incredible good and incredible harm.
Let's just look at the stakes here. On one hand, in medicine, we could grow custom organs for transplants or use CRISPR to cure genetic diseases for good. But on the other hand, that same tech could be used to design devastating bioweapons. For the environment, we could engineer algae that literally pulls carbon out of the atmosphere, but an accidental release could cause an ecological disaster. We could dream of terraforming Mars, but we also risk creating an unstoppable superbug right here on Earth.
To put all this in perspective, just hold this one number in your head: 4 billion. That's how many years nature has spent beta testing life on this planet, through endless trial and error. We are now attempting to speed run that entire process with our own intelligence. The question isn't whether we can do it, it's whether we have the wisdom to handle it. And all of this brings us to the biggest questions of all, the philosophical ones that are going to define our future. We're not just changing biology anymore, we are changing the very rules of evolution itself. I mean, think about this.
If we create one of those XNA life forms, and it can reproduce and mutate all on its own, is that natural evolution? Or is it forever just a human artifact, an invention? Where do you even draw that line?
And what about our responsibilities? If we bring a new form of life into the world, does it have any kind of moral status? Do we owe it anything? These are the kinds of questions that science alone just can't answer for us.
You know, ultimately it all seems to boil down to this one central dilemma. Are we playing God? Is this just hubris, thinking we know better than billions of years of trial and error? Or are we simply using our intelligence to accelerate nature's own toolkit, to come up with new strategies for life to survive and thrive out in the universe?
One thing is absolutely certain. This is no longer a hypothetical debate for a sci-fi movie. The power to edit and even to create life is here. It's in our hands right now. So the final question, well, it's for you. Knowing what this all means, what kind of life would you create?